Well, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you all for joining me for today's episode of Monday Night Raw. We're going to be reviewing the show, and we'll be talking about everything. So the show started off with Drew McIntyre, and then all of a sudden, out came Dolph Ziggler from SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler appeared, and then Dolph Ziggler announced that he and Robert Roode were traded to Monday Night Raw as a package for AJ Styles. So they made that very clear. But I have a problem here. There's one problem I have with this. We had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross traded to SmackDown, and we never got clarification on who they were traded for. Some say it's the Iconics, but I don't believe that for a second. Because they never confirmed that who they were traded for. Then we have Ali moving to Raw, and then Apollo Crews was moved to Raw, and we have no explanation on who was traded for them. None. We have no explanation on who was traded for Ali, and we have no explanation on who was traded for Apollo. So all of a sudden, now they want to tell us, oh, by the way, me and Robert Roode, we were traded here to Raw for AJ Styles. But you're not going to tell us who went to SmackDown for Apollo Crews? Or you're not going to tell us who went to SmackDown for Ali? Because reports are saying that Ali was moved to Raw. Makes no sense to me. I mean, why are you even moving Ziggler and Roode to Raw? I mean, you've got enough tag teams. You've got AOP. I know one of them's out injured. You've got Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. You've got Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. You've got even, you've got your fair share of teams. Why Roode and Ziggler? Whatever. But Ziggler is getting a WWE Championship match against Dolph Ziggler. I swear, somehow Dolph Ziggler gets more WWE Championship matches more than bloody... I swear, he gets so many. He gets so damn many. He had like 3 chances last year against Kofi Kingston. He had like 3 title shots against him last year. Or was it 2? It was either 2 or 3 last year against Kofi Kingston. And now he's getting one this year. I don't get it. I really don't get how Dolph Ziggler continues to get WWE title matches. Nia Jax, she came out after that segment. She came out and she was pissed. Yeah, I'd be pissed too if someone screwed me over, but Nia was pissed. She was talking about how Charlotte Flair is getting another opportunity that she doesn't deserve. She's talking about how she was screwed at Backlash. How she got screwed last week on Raw. R-Truth came out, thought she was Akira Tozawa. She wasn't putting up with his crap. Akira Tozawa appeared behind the announce table. Bunch of ninjas were around the ring. R-Truth was able to escape the ninjas. Nia continued her promo, but then Charlotte would come out. Charlotte and Nia would have a back and forth promo, and then a brawl between the two of them started, which led to Charlotte hurting her shoulder. So that would be a big factor heading in to Charlotte's match against Asuka. Then we had the Street Profits taking on the Turkey Legs Raiders, as I'm going to be calling them, the Turkey Raiders, Ivar and Eric, because Ivar loves his turkey legs, Mr. Turkey Legs, as I call him, and it was an alright tag match. It was an alright tag match, I guess. And I kind of knew the Street Profits were winning because Tom Phillips mentioned about how the Street Profits have never beaten the Viking Raiders in a wrestling match. And I was like, well, thank you for telling us that the Street Profits are winning. And that's exactly what happened. Montez Ford pinned Mr. Turkey Legs, Ivar, for the pin. And the Viking Raiders and Street Profits showed respect to each other by doing the hand fists, the Viking Profits bit fist, and then Angel Garza and Andrade would attack the Raw Tag Team Champions. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I could be wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm very confident that Angel Garza and Andrade will be your next Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm very confident that that's going to happen. I could very well be wrong, but I'm predicting we'll get new Raw Tag Team Champions. So then we had Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Fun match. Really enjoyed it. It was a good match. They told the story of Charlotte's shoulder, and Charlotte Flair, she would tap out. Tap out clean. It was a clean loss. Now I know some people are going to be like, well, actually, Patrick, she actually had an injured shoulder. So you can't really call it a clean victory if she tore her shoulder in a brawl against Nia Jax. Well, actually, I will tell you guys, it was a clean win. I don't care if Charlotte went out there with a broken damn leg. If she lost with no bullshit, it was a clean win. If there was no bullshit, no BS, if there was no screwy finish, no run-in interference, none of this bullshit, if there was no screwy finish, I consider it a clean loss. Yes, Charlotte had a injured shoulder. But all I'm saying is, it was a clean loss because Charlotte tapped out. No one tried to interfere, which I thought Nia was. I clearly thought Nia was going to interfere, but she didn't. Then Nia would attack Charlotte later. She would end up attacking Charlotte, making her shoulder injury even worse by slamming her shoulder onto getting a top of the bin lid and slamming the bin lid on Charlotte's shoulder. So I honestly hope Charlotte's out of action for the time being here. I actually really hope she's actually out for a good at least a couple of months. I personally would be much rather if Charlotte was out for at least a couple of months, so then that way Nia can brag about that she put Charlotte out, because I feel like Charlotte definitely needs some time off. Charlotte does need some time off, and if she returns as a babyface, I'll be happy, because we all know babyface Charlotte is better than heel Charlotte. So if they turn Charlotte babyface when she comes back, I will be happy, because I prefer Charlotte as a face than as a heel. So people should be happy that Charlotte actually lost clean and put over Asuka. So Asuka has finally defeated Charlotte Flair. Next we had Mr. I've got so many ninjas, Akira Tozawa. He takes on R-Truth for the 24/7 no one gives a shit about it anymore championship. Then Bobby Lashley came out and did the Lashley lock. The Lashley lock. You know how Chris Masters called it the Master Lock? Well, I'm going to call it the Lashley lock. I know they're going to call it a full Nelson, but I'm going to be calling it the Lashley lock. And Lashley destroyed R-Truth with the Lashley lock. And then Akira Tozawa would come in, he would crawl into the ring, and he would pin R-Truth to become a 2-time 24/7 7-Eleven I-95, whatever he continues to call it, champion. So next we had Liv Morgan. Taking on Natalya. Natalya is now a heel, and I don't mind this. I think Natalya definitely needed a heel turn because she's been a face for so long. But I kind of prefer Natalya as a face than as a heel, but whatever. They've got her as a heel now. Lana is now with Natalya. I don't mind this. I don't mind it because I think at least it's more tag teams on the roster. More tag teams, the better, I say. And due to Lana's interference, Liv Morgan lost to Natalya, tapped out to the sharpshooter. That was that. And backstage, as Liv Morgan was walking away, all upset that she lost, Ruby Riott appears. Ruby Riott appears. She tries to talk to Liv. Liv says not tonight. She walks off and leaves Ruby Riott confused. Now, I am all for them bringing Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan back together. I'm perfectly fine with it because I don't think Liv Morgan is ready. I don't think Liv Morgan... Look, I'm not saying Liv Morgan isn't a singles competitor. She can't really be a singles champion. She can be a singles champion, don't get me wrong. But I feel like at this time, we need to focus on the tag team division. We need more tag teams in the tag team division. So I think putting Liv and Ruby back together is a smart decision. Ruby Riott becomes a babyface. I actually preferred Ruby Riott as a babyface, to be honest. I think Ruby Riott needs a change. She desperately needs it. And more importantly, she desperately needs screen time. If Charlotte Flair is truly gone, and she's going to be out for at least a while, a couple of months, if Charlotte Flair is truly taken off TV because of what Nia Jax did to her, they've got no other choice but to use someone like Ruby Riott. Even Bianca Belair. We need to see Bianca Belair as well. If Charlotte Flair is truly taken off television and we're not going to be seeing her for a while, we need to start seeing more of the other women. I'm perfectly fine with Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott becoming a tag team. But I feel like they need to explain it. I feel like they need to explain it. I feel like they need to give a reason to why Liv Morgan, or Ruby Riott, I should say. I feel like they need to give Ruby Riott a reason to why she wants to reform with Liv Morgan. The only thing that I could think of maybe is what Natalya said last week, because Natalya called Liv Morgan a rookie and she said, well, I don't blame Ruby Riott for dumping you. Like, I feel like that could have been the other hint that Ruby Riott was going to get involved in all this. But I felt like Ruby was going to get involved as soon as I saw Natalya form an alliance with Lana. I said, if Liv Morgan is feuding with Natalya, I think Ruby Riott's going to get involved. And that's exactly what we've got here. Ruby Riott is now involved in this. I'm just happy she's actually on TV. I'm happy Ruby Riott's in a storyline. Even if it means putting her back with Liv Morgan, I'm fine with it. We need more teams. So I'm fine with Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott potentially getting back together. Maybe next week Liv Morgan wins against Natalya or Lana. Maybe she wins next week and they double team her and Ruby comes to her aid. Or maybe Ruby Riott has a match with them. Has a match with one of them. And maybe Ruby Riott has a match with Natalya next week. And Liv Morgan assists Ruby. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yes, I'm definitely all for this tag team pairing. Getting back together. I'm definitely all for it. Next we had Ric Flair announcing Randy Orton as the greatest wrestler ever. Talking about Edge and Christian, putting them out on the shelf. And then we had, well, it's the Big Slow. We had the Big Slow back. Please tell me why. Please tell me why I should be invested in a Randy Orton versus Big Show program. Tell me why. Name me one good reason why I should be excited for Big Show versus Randy Orton. Edge had this promo as well. Didn't really care. The only thing I could get from it is that this feud between Orton and Edge isn't over. Please, for the love of God, just put an end to this. I don't want to see another match between these two. It's been going on forever. But we've got Big Show and Randy Orton. Don't even care. I don't even care. I just don't even care. And why should I care? Because WWE isn't giving me a reason to care. Next we had Sasha and Bayley defend the tag belts against the Iconics. This was pretty short, to be honest. It was pretty short. I was really hoping was really hoping for more. But Sasha and Bayley ended up retaining here. A lot of people did expect this to happen. I'm not gonna lie, I expected it. Peyton Royce tapped out to the Banks statement, which I think a lot of people were surprised because they were surprised it wasn't Billie Kay. I felt like it made sense to be Peyton because Peyton made fun of Sasha. You know, made fun of her and slapped her last week on Raw, so I felt like it made sense. And then we had Sasha basically play troll. She basically played gotcha. And she talked to Bayley saying how much she loves her, seeing her happy. And she said she wants a title match. Bayley was worried that Sasha was going to challenge her for the SmackDown belt. But then Sasha said she wants to challenge Asuka instead. And both Bayley and Sasha began laughing. Asuka came out, accepted the challenge, and both Sasha and Bayley ganged up on Asuka 2-on-1, stood tall and at the end, and we're having an image of seeing both Sasha and Bayley holding 2 titles. Now, I've got a bit of a problem with this. I have a bit of an issue with this. I love Sasha, I love Bayley, but I have to say, this is a bit much. I mean, I know Sasha fans have been waiting for so long to see Sasha finally get her big payday, to get her justice. But I can't sit here and tell you guys I'm a fan of Sasha challenging for another belt. I get it. I understand that people want to see Sasha finally get her justice. But I feel like they're doing it the wrong way. Doing it in a way where where both of them could potentially be holding every title, to me isn't the way to do it. Because all this is going to do is make people hate Sasha Banks. Because you know how people have been begging for this woman to be pushed for the past 3 years. Doing something like this isn't exactly going to really do Sasha any favors. I don't want to come off like a jerk here, but if this was Charlotte, the entire world would be exploding. Now, I know I came on here a couple of weeks ago very pissed off about Charlotte being pushed over and over again. But Charlotte gets all this hate. You know I love Charlotte. Charlotte gets all this hate, all this unnecessary hate and shade that's always thrown at her because, well, people hate her. And they don't like how she's always pushed all the time. But I kind of find it a little bit bullshit that Sasha and Bayley are on 3 shows, nobody utters a sentence because, you know, Charlotte was on 3 shows, everybody had a goddamn issue with it. But Sasha and Bayley are on 3 shows, no one's battering an I word. And now you get Sasha, who's on SmackDown, challenging a Raw belt, and no one's battering an eyelash about that either, because Charlotte, who was a Raw star, who won the Royal Rumble, challenged NXT's champion, and everybody had an issue with it. I feel like whatever Charlotte does, everybody hates, but if you get someone like Bayley and Sasha kind of copying the exact same thing that Charlotte does, everybody doesn't batter an eyelash about it. Look, I love Sasha, I love Bayley, but I feel like this is just a little bit too much. I feel like this is getting a little bit too much. I think this is getting a little bit overboard. I understand Sasha fans have been waiting for this for a good 5 years for Sasha to finally get her justice, her revenge. But I'm sorry, this is a bit much. I have to say this is just a little too much. We're getting a little too much of this. I would just rather them stick with Sasha and Bayley being the tag champs, build up to them eventually losing the tag team belts, and then they can have Sasha eventually challenge Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title. That's all I feel like they should be focusing on. Now, do I see Sasha winning the Raw Women's title? Well, no. I don't think she should. Doesn't make sense for her to win it. I don't think it makes sense for Sasha to win it. You could still make her lose in a way that she'll still look good in defeat. Maybe Bayley accidentally costs Sasha the match. I just want them to stay focused on this Bayley Sasha feud. I want them to stay focused on the eventual breakup of Sasha and Bayley. I don't want them being all like, "Hey, look at this, we got all the titles," you know? Like, I want them to stay focused on breaking them up, not shoving so many titles on them that it will make the fans get really tired of Sasha and Bayley. This is not how you do it. I feel like this is not how you do it. It's only going to make fans hate Sasha. It's only going to make fans hate Bayley. It's only going to make fans resent them the same way that people resented Charlotte. That's just my personal opinion about it. If you don't like it, that's fair enough. But I feel like this is just a little too much. Just way, way, way too much. I feel like they're getting a little bit carried away with it. That's just my opinion. Then we had Apollo Crews on VIP Lounge. MVP tried to turn him heel. MVP said, Apollo Crews said no, he didn't want to join MVP. Shelton Benjamin came out to challenge Apollo Crews again, and Apollo Crews beat Shelton Benjamin, and then Bobby Lashley comes out and attacks Apollo Crews, putting him in the Lashley lock. So we're pretty much guaranteed a new United States champion. I guess we should kiss Apollo Crews' push goodbye, and Bobby Lashley is most likely going to be the next United States champion. Then the main event, I personally didn't care about this. The Rey Mysterio, Dominic angle. Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo came out to assist the Mysterio family against Seth Rollins, Murphy, and Theory. I just didn't care. I really didn't care about this because I just didn't care. Look, I love the new Seth Rollins. I love the Monday Night Messiah gimmick, but I just didn't care. So anyway, guys, that's your Monday Night Raw review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. Subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.